Kia ora and welcome to Ngāpurawai Stadium in Christchurch. A glorious day, and we're in for quite a cracker of a game here in a double-header here on Sky as we're covering the under-20 national competition, and followed by our wahine also in the mix this afternoon. Good to have you along. Dale Husband in with Richie Barnett today, and great to see people back in the stadium because we've had so long where that hasn't been the case. A warm welcome to Sky Sport, and looking forward to bringing you the action here from an intriguing clash between the South Island and the county's Manukau Stingrays. Great to have you along, and Richie Barnett looking forward to this one.
Yeah, tēnā koe, Dale. It's great to be on the cams with you, mate. And of course, the conditions are perfect for rugby league today. And of course, second v third today, which is a pivotal game for both teams when to get out there and mix it up.
The track's great. There's some issues actually with building in the stands, so those who have come along this afternoon are going to be around the ground rather than in the stand. Well, this is the lineup for the county's Manukau team, and really saw them perhaps at their best against the Stallions not so long ago. They've got plenty of strike power. Ben Penny is tough and rugged up through the middle. He'll be assisted with Madison Dickers, a great distributor, and keep an eye out too for their halves. They've got great option-taking abilities, and they'll be doing their best to get them around the park this afternoon. The county's Manukau Stingrays assistant coach is Gaz Kingi.
Gaz, a 2v3, big game. How's preparation been this week?
Yeah, it's been really good. I think a lot of little niggly injuries, but otherwise pulled up pretty well this week in training. The boys are looking forward to the matchup.
And what do you reckon the keys to victory are going to be for you guys? Where's the match going to be won or lost?
It's always going to be one on the forwards. I think, without the engine moving forward, our backs can't do what they are meant to do, and that's finishing off in the corners and that. But we're going to try and put them under pressure a little bit more with a few high kicks and see how we go.
Awesome, and your first time here at Ngāpurawai, great track, isn't it?
Yes, it's beautiful here. I'm actually really enjoying being down here out of Auckland. It's nice to get away for the weekend.
Awesome, all the best, good luck.
Thank you very much, cheers.
Yeah, Ngāpurawai Stadium, a purpose-built stadium, of course, off the back of the earthquake, but the track is in wonderful condition. Here's the South Island squad, a number of the guys coming up from Otago. There's a couple of West Coastie boys involved in this one also. But I've been impressed with the South Island, particularly from Tupo Kowhanunga, who's been right on the game. Mate Albert Petty at the back slides into the opportunities too from fullback. And, of course, Oliver Lowry, Caleb Murphy have also been on top of their games. So it's going to be a great matchup here this afternoon. And the coach of the South Island team is Archie Jacobs.
Coach, top of the table clash. What's in it for you guys today? What do you think the keys to victory will be?
Yeah, for us, I think, playing with speed. We've got a fast, fit side. We've looked to attack probably in behind the ruck a bit. And attack their big middlemen and see if we can get some goal through there.
Awesome. Preparation's been good for the team. Training gone well?
Yeah, really pleased. We identified a few things from last week that we didn't get quite right. So looking to improve on those things, and hopefully we can get those things right this week.
Yeah, and lastly, cracking day for footy. Always good to be at home. Boys must be looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't had crowds back for a while, and so a lot of these guys haven't played in front of their family or girlfriends, and so really looking forward to it. We're expecting a bumper crowd actually. Nice weather, so no reason why not.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, the South Island have such a proud history, don't they, as rugby league people, the West Coast, and we had that cracking game with Otago last year against Canterbury, as we see them making their way out onto the field. And of course, both in the red and white, the Canterbury colours, as we see Counties Manukau. Great trip for these guys too, travelling down from Tamaki. This is the South Island team, and we're used to calling them the Scorpions, not so much this time around, although the Scorpions still operate at the 15s and 17s age group levels, Richie. So we know that there's plenty on that, and of course, when the South Island teams come up against any squad from Auckland, they really want to do well. So it's going to be an intriguing battle here, and certainly the way that both teams open to get underway here in the early stages of this first half will be vital.
Yeah, Paki Parkinson is the ref today. Fevers and Harvey on the sideline, but certainly the start for any match is important, setting the tone of the match, and of course those errors which have been riddled through the competition, but I'm sure in this match, 2 or 3 games in now, I think they've reached a bit of rhythm now.
And it's great to see rugby league back, of course, on television. and it's been such a difficult couple of years for all codes. We're starting to get into our groove now, this sort of pre-season effort, just encouraging these under-20s to stay with the game. Of course, club footy, for the most part, delayed because of COVID. Certainly in Auckland, that is the case. They'll be getting underway early next month. But with the ball first up, the Stingrays, and wanting to put a bit of sting into their effort early on. Bit of a shuffle around in numbers. Ethan Faitawa is the skipper. He's in jersey 19, and that's him getting busy there. Jacob Lowe comes in on support. This is Madison Tekau's a good option taker as the first downtowner comes off the boot, and that's a testing kick, beautifully taken at the back by Mata Albert Pere.
Yeah, that's the first up. You heard Gaza Kingy mention that, testing the fullback out, putting the high ball up, hopefully a spiral type of kick, but he handled that extremely well. A good start there from the Stingrays.
That's Jacob Hollibon, and Jacob's the captain here. Little mistake, and that could prove costly. As you can see, the pitches, purpose-built sporting facility here at Ngāpunawai, out towards Riccarton, west of the city of Christchurch. And obviously the water being applied to the hockey pitch, and some disappointment there for Albert Pere, who wanted to get away too quickly, didn't get the ball in hand. Great to have you along too. I'm sure that many of us are acknowledging the neat effort for the Warriors last night as well, picking up an important scalp in the Brisbane Broncos. And it was perhaps the quality of the play they put together that was most impressive. But right now, for the South Island, some pressure on. So Tekau has a look up, decides he'll try it down the short side, and that loads up for Ben Penny. Ben Penny has got big raps, and he's renowned for his attitude. He's tough, and he goes straight and hard every time he hits the ball. This is good play too, cutting in, and then the cutout ball wide, and what a good start it is for Counties Manukau. And that's the number 2, Timothy Tiatia. Skillful play, and really, I guess in a way, just sounding the alarm bell straight away for the South Island.
Yeah, it was coming off a mistake early on, and then they progressed to the left-hand side with an interchange of passing. They made that look quite easy, and it probably was. A bit of indecision there in defence. A nice runners in decoying there, and another block play here, and allows the speed of the fullback to come across, turning the winger inside out, and that was just enough for Tiatia to go in.
Well, he's from the Manarewa club now, just a young guy too, and in fact, I think those are Manarewa socks that are being sported here by the man with the kicking tee. The ball from the force, Samuel Hansen, was also pretty impressive, but I really liked the way that Lelefu Sang-Yum sensed the opportunity, and it was a classy display close to the line, and really the first opportunity at the line, so the South Islanders know they're in for a real battle here, and they'll have to be on their game. Yes, you can concede an early try. It's how you come back from that try that's going to be important. So a little bit of wind will be a factor here. We'll be wanting to utilise it and go out wide and come around. This time probably doesn't factor in the wind. It comes across over the plains, over the hills, and driving often easterlies across, or heading east, I should say. So it's mostly nor'westers coming across the Alps. So let's have another look at it, Richie.
Yeah, just see there that the winger on the right-hand side, the centre actually got turned inside out. They didn't trust them enough. They were at an overlap. Good defence coming across, but it was just too slow to come across. They have got speed, the Counties Manukau side. We've known that. They're forwards if they lay the platform, as Gaza Kingy mentioned rightly, and that's a good result there for Southland. But they have got tons of speed on the edges, and it's just a matter of giving them space and time through the middle, and we can see that with Penny. We know that they've got some robust forwards in the middle who can lay the platform.
Well, we know that Archie loves his footy, his long time associations with Hornby, a proud club out of the South Island. He's had the Scorpions 18-year-old squads for a better part of a decade also, and actually assisted Ricky Henry, he's from Christchurch as well, you'll know, with the New Zealand Māori team as his assistant a few seasons back. So he knows the game, and he knows what it takes to win. The South Island with the ball now. Faitawa back on the inside for Ava. Big George gets them into good range. And you can hear some support there for the Counties Monaco defensive effort on Jacob Lowe.
Well, hats off for Lowe for taking that ball in traffic. It was a courageous take. You can see him, he was the block runner. He wasn't expecting it, but he did expect it there. He was hit by a couple of defenders there. It stripped him of the ball, to be honest. So he was very unlucky not to get a penalty coming his way.
Looking forward to the work of the big number 8 from the South Island, Faitawa. Been in the system for some time, Big Georgie. He was named in the national 20s last year. And he's been training hard, lost plenty of kgs for this tournament. Short that it is, there's still plenty of pride involved to take away the trophy at the end of the campaign. So it's Counties Monaco with the ball as to go down, darts down the right-hand side. His big Penny once again. Ryan Tully is in the mix as we get a squizzy at the bench. Great to hear the sounds of supporters too echoing across the park as well, Richard.
Well, it's going to boost some energy for the sides too, particularly Southland being home. Just have the family around them, support and the energy off the field provides on the field. So this is, although the start has deemed to try so early on, but I'm sure they'll come back.
Well, that kick was sort of halfway between a meter eater and a chip over the top, but it was easily pulled in by the South Island winger. This is Tani Whangupo as the bench from the South Island Connections look on. In saying that too, I'd just like to acknowledge the assistant coach of the South Island team, Brendan Rose. Sadly, Brendan's got the COVID bug, but he's watching. G'day to your mates, and also I know that you'll be wishing you were there. Actually, COVID's hit Canterbury perhaps more seriously than we expected, so big ups to those of you who are from Canterbury and perhaps laid out with the dastardly lurgy. It's been wreaking havoc throughout our land for a long time now. There's a downtowner and it looks pretty good, taken skillfully at the back by Lelefu Sung-Yum. This kid has a great turn of speed. He actually plays for Otahu, who prems. He leads from the back, so keep an eye out for him. He's really got a good turn of pace and is willing to get involved in the tough stuff. So Counties Monaco with the ball, as you can see. Just about 10 metres, I guess, in from the eastern stand, tearing up and away.
Well, they're handling the ruck speed quite nicely, Southland. And that was the big draw card, I guess, playing against the Stingrays, is that they've got to really keep the midfield tight. And they really got to roll them on their backs as they are doing it now. Slow that ruck speed down so they then don't capitalise on the edges.
Trying to create a platform and sensibly looking to go to the other end of the park. The kick off Dicko. It's another tool of trade for modern day hookers. They've got to be good distributors, looking up for the V to get runs out of dummy half themselves, but also to have an extra kicker is invaluable to a team's efforts on the track.
A lot of the IQ's really around the ruck, isn't it? Ruck recognition, understanding if you need to go, you can create that ruck speed that's so necessary in the game. It's the big difference that we see in the current style of football.
Now that's Leverton Luttle who plays the ball. South Island deciding to put the rubber kick through. It's ricocheted. It ends up in the hands of Jacob Lowe, and he's got some wheels, and it looks like it's opened up for Jacob Lowe despite a last-ditch effort to pull him down. He's in to score. Tariki Ford had a go right at the back end, but that was a terrific effort and a wonderful try for the South Island, and fully deserving too, because they've stayed in the game, they've fancied their chances. The kick, the rebound, the pick-up, and the sprint all came together beautifully.
Certainly was. This is a kick that deflected off, and it came back in the hands of Jacob Lowe. He's kicked it, bounced off. Jacob Lowe receives the ball. Nice little right foot step here. Accelerates through, and again another right foot step. He was the man that was stripped with the ball, and a penalty went opposing him. He's he's turned that negative into a positive by some great footwork and speed.
Actually hails for the West Coast, so big ups to any coasties who might be watching in today from that proud rugby league province. And here he is stepping. He's been a Kiwi 18s trialist along the way, and has really been in the South Island system for 2 or 3 seasons now. And that's good reward for keeping his eye on the ball. Good pickup, and he showed some great pace as well as we look for the extras to be added, and that is duly done. So about 15 minutes gone, 1 try apiece, and a good little effort there from the South Island through low. So you're watching the NZRL National 20s through Sky Sport. Pleasure to have you with us. So get another look at that try. Had some work to do, plenty of supporters too if he needed to link up. Wasn't that a nice step around Sung Yum?
It was fantastic. His first step was an absolute pearler, and then he's come back, try to stretch the fullback to his right side so he can then come off his right foot again. So nice work there from Jacob Lowe.
And it's important now that the South Island capitalise on the opportunity. So often you see a mistake in the set following a try. So everyone knows you can play conservatively through the first early parts of the set, but certainly you'll be wanting to get to the back end and get a kick as Lowe angles himself into the mainstream traffic, if you could call it that, on the 40-metre line. This is powerhouse running, and a good 12 metres picked up on the boil there from Callum Hatch. Full of running at the moment, and here comes the skipper who's showing some gas and panache as well as Ethan Faitawa gets the South Island in good zone. So it's Callum Hatch now, and they go wide, looking to hold up the pass and then create an opportunity, and as they do, they come steaming through. That's Tani Whangupo, and that's a wonderful effort as well. The South Island on fire.
That is fantastic. Again, that was identified early in when the coaches were speaking about what is the game plan that they want to implement, and that was really basing their style around A and B defenders cutting cross, trying to get some ruck speed generated, and of course the number 9 comes through, or their captain Faitawa did some great work lead up through there, but it was the tip on here and the option to go, am I going to kick or am I going to pass? And it was the ability of the number 14 to come through, Whangupo, to actually run those tight lines with acceleration and score a pivotal try in this match.
Caleb Murphy, he held the ball up nicely, didn't he, to keep the defenders guessing, and weighted the pass superbly, and Whangupo was able to profit from his decision making. Yeah. Actually, he grew up in Auckland. He's down in Otago, Tani, and he's studying there, but has come through the Auckland age groups. But obviously a player of some ability, as we see the kick miss, combining the words there, and there you go, sort of in a Valentine's sort of way.
Archie Jacob would be really impressed with that, because that's what they did through training all this week, to target around the A and Bs, to tire out the bigger forwards, and then release some space and time on the edges for the guys for players like Tarnett to come through, use the acceleration, use the speed out wide.
A great opportunity for some of these young guys who might not have ever been to Christchurch, to be honest. Blokes still in their teens, and albeit just down for a day, but it's a very picturesque flight. As you see, a 10-4 scoreline, and a quarter of the game has gone. Counties will be wanting to force an error here for the South Island, all winding up now. Steady as she goes, Carlos Tarafiti in the defensive work.
Yeah, great defensive work, but equally the runs are really direct, and they're trying to get to their fronts real quick. They're running with decoys, they're running with players pushing up, take the emphasis of the defenders away. And their backs are getting in and doing some real good quality work there too.
Holding down the player for just as long as referee Pucky Parkinson will allow. Still, more opportunities out wide. Here's a try score. Whangupo again is wreaking havoc down that left edge. for the South Island. Archie Jacobs would be pleased with the way these guys have responded after conceding a try after just 4 minutes. So the kick finds space, and it forces Tia back to grab hold of the ball, but the chase was very committed and very solid as well. So a bit of work here for the Stingrays to get themselves out of their danger zone.
Yeah, applying the pressure, which is great. The kick was great because it was in between the fullback and the winger, which found space, which is so important to get them off to a slower start for their set 1 and 2. So excellent work there from Southland.
Well, for the Stingrays, they need to show some patience and also to build some pressure here with sustained sets. If you can arrange to get back-to-back sets, of course, it puts the pressure on the defending squad, and they'll go further upfield here with that kick. It's a pretty new stadium. I don't know what sort of work they might be doing on it, Richie. It's not a big stand.
It's not a big stand, but a fantastic field to play at. And this is going to be interesting to see the defence. They're quite different defence patterns from both sides, but Southland will need to be stoic here.
It's about building pressure, not wanting to do too much. Even looking for that offload was indicative of what we're talking of. Now it's okay to go to ground.
Well, there it is right there. 3 in a tackle, put him on his back, forced him to come up with a mistake there. You know, he's a very big man on that right edge. But to put him on his back, they'll do things that they don't normally do. So look at this. Just hands all around the ball. That's what you want to do. Try to settle the pattern.
And that builds frustration in the player, doesn't it? He wants to make up for it. And so sometimes can try a little bit too hard. And instead of just fulfilling the job that the team and your coach need, you can be trying to make up for lost time, so to speak, and to be a bit more creative when it should have a more conservative approach. We'll see how he goes. That's big Harlem Tanamu. The South Island have come back nicely here with these tries to Low and Whangupu, but there's plenty of confidence building here. He's a talented ball runner and good option taker, as mentioned. It's Oliver Lowry, been quite a standout performer as Uriah Tully takes them inside enemy territory here. 15 in from the far touch and shuffling down that left side. A jolting defensive effort on Callum Donaldson. So hats off to both teams playing this one. A lot of skill. The big number 8, Faitawa, pushes his way forward again. Nothing like the big guy setting the platform, and here's the big left boot. High and challenging for the fullback, who comes up and grabs it with great skill.
Well, they're giving the ball back to Southland. There's some mistakes that will be very disappointing for some of the players. But again, the kick wasn't all that great, but yet it provided a bit of pressure for the fullback to take. He still had to work a bit hard, and you can see just an awful mistake from Sungyum.
And after having taken the ball with confidence and skill, gets up to play the ball, which is an area that you see so many mistakes made, isn't it, Rich?
Well, they haven't fallen into a pattern yet, have they? I'm sorry, a rhythm yet. Canis Manukau, they've just gifted some mistakes, early errors, and Southland have found their rhythm.
Donaldson gets them there. It's 20 metres out. And your skipper, Faitawa, decides he'll put it across to the right side. This is Taufua. And it's Bakaya. Wrapped up in the tackle. South Island pressuring as Faitawa runs decoy. There are numbers out the back door if they can use it. And there's that step and over. Oh, drops the ball low. He'd done all the work. His team had set him the stage, but he just couldn't go on with it. A bit of stage fright, and he loses it at the last moment.
Well, equally, a great idea to have him close in. Off the nice tip on, and boom, right foot step. It works again. The third time he's done it. Oh, so close. He should have braced the ball and just allowed himself to go over the line.
That could be a pivotal moment in the game, to be honest, because that would have kicked them out to 16-4 in the first half, which would be a very commanding lead. Let's see if there's a momentum swing here, and that's what we witnessed straight away. It can happen so often. Is this the run of the game? So far, you'd have to think. Absolutely superb. What a read and what a run. Still it's alive. Counties Monaco. The Stingrays looking to put some sting in on the inside. And that's Tia. Here's your dummy half to kill. Has a dive and then a try. It comes good. I'm thinking that was, in fact, Pucky Parkins says no thanks. But at first glance, I felt that Tekau had gone through effectively. He's asked to back it up. Your thoughts, please, Richie?
Oh, that's outstanding. That's superb defence. There was such belief in that defence, but the run down the right-hand side, Tekau wanted to get over the ball. He was desperate. I thought he was over.
Timai. Now Penny. Penny puts the pedal to the metal, but the South Island, they are shoring up the defence. They'll have to stick fat right here because some pressure's on here, guys. Some pressure on. Timai is over the line, but he can't get it down. Look at that. It's almost like grappling on the floor. Jiu-jitsu in rugby league.
Well, they've put all their energy in their defence, and it's really paid off for Southland. They propelled them on 2 occasions near the line, and they're able to get that ball back. Now they've got to transition to attack.
Holloman comes in with some good D. He really works hard, but we spoke about the momentum shift, and all of a sudden the breakthrough with a scorching run down the right edge. That was brilliant, and that is what can result after missed chances when it was always almost in for Jacob Lowe. Now they are under pressure, the South Island. They look to be panicking there, the coaching staff.
Well, that's given them huge amounts of confidence, knowing they can propel them from the try line under huge amounts of stress. And they shift the ball a little bit wider, which they've done extremely well.
This is good play down the right side. A little mid-air goosey also for Vansaki. Manages to offload it, and now Tupou Kofanunga. Over the halfway line, Kofanunga. Good thing Caleb Murphy showed a smart approach to his game, and that's brilliantly taken as well. You liking this? Here's Donaldson. You liking this? You liking this with Donaldson? Oh, he didn't get it. I'm thinking he didn't then, obviously. Callum Donaldson, well, hey, I thought he had him beat. But that's footy, isn't it? Desperation from the Stingrays, and denied another try within 6 or 7 minutes, the South Island.
Well, they put them under pressure, but it was the kick chase that really received the benefits, and the passing, and Donaldson, I thought he was in. His left foot step around, and what about the number 5? Honetana Paia, who's come through and absolutely grabbed them and strangled them across the line. And I don't know how he didn't get that ball over, but that again is outstanding defence from both sides.
2 tries gone begging, but hey, that's footy, isn't it? Everyone's giving their all, and that last-ditch effort from the winger. Wow. Try saver extraordinaire, Homa.
Need to talk over it.
Here we are on the halfway line, and again opting to go down the other end of the field. With a kick, it'll go end over end, perhaps allowed to go dead, and that's the way it's read at the back there by Mate Albert Pere. He comes gassing out to the 20-metre line, wants to get some sort of advantage. The referee wasn't even back there, and he asks him to reset.
Wow, what an interesting 5 minutes that we've seen. Dale, Jacob Lowe missing out, Tekau, who also missed out from dummy half. And then we've got Donaldson, who was also stopped from a certain try.
I think he was so confident that he had the speed and angle to get to the try line. He didn't utilise Makaya Tafua, the halfback, who was ranging up on his to his right. But perhaps if he had tried to link with him, that might have resulted in the 4 points. Here's a spinning effort from the skipper. He's super impressive, Ethan Faitawa. He's been in the Kiwis 18 systems for a long time, plays for the Linwood Kiers. He's a player of great skill. That's him with the football. Threatening again, always, Oliver Lowry. Got a good football brain, the standoff.
He's controlled it nicely.
This guy's had a good first half effort too. Caleb Murphy, that kick also is a testing one. It's gone backwards. and trying to turn it into something else. It's called into it's called a knock-on. Yeah, Caleb Murphy, a third year of league. He's in the Bulls wider squad. Also plays for the Premiers for Hornby. So when you play, these guys are all under 20, of course, but if you're playing Premier football, then you're mixing with blokes who've been around a long time, and you can learn a lot from guys in the game management department when they've been around the footy tracks for decades, and you can see how he's benefited from doing so too. Caleb Murphy's having a strong first half.
Yeah, he certainly has. His kicking game's been right on point. It's provided a bit more pressure. It's put them a huge amounts of pressure too, and it's the kick chase that's really won a couple of those victories too. So a penalty, a relieving penalty. The Carnies, certainly with their body language now, look like they're under pressure.
It's good to see. You know, Counties Monaco have been one of the powerhouses in New Zealand League since the region was allowed to set loose on its own right. We've touched on that before, because in days past the Auckland catchment went from way north of Auckland right out to beyond the Franklin district, and with a lot of Māori and Polynesian people moving further south, and of course they make up the bulk of numbers in Auckland anyway, of the rugby league fraternity. It made sense to create another zone and give more players representative opportunities. This is a solid carry, and that's precisely what the Stingrays need. They are starting to build here in the South Island, a little slow to turn and face up on D. So opportunity starting to brew here as Edric Timai comes into the dummy half position, and he looks down his right side, and for willing workhorses to get involved in the action. Donaldson on D, and short side play here, and some good stepping and spinning. Almost a washing machine try, as my mate Viggo Rasmus, an Auckland referee, referred to one scored yesterday in Auckland under 16 action, and this is close to the line and just spun away at the last moment. The back rower was ever so close.
Well, how many times are they possibly looking at a try and then the cover defence comes across? And that was Tuli, Araya Tuli, who comes across at the last minute and absolutely takes him out of the game. This is probably where the game's going to be won. Their defence is certainly dictating terms at the moment.
Well, how about the defence that the Stingrays have shown to turn away 2 tries, which would have had the scoreline ballooning and not in their best interests. When I think of course, Canterbury Rugby League, my mind goes back to our mate Frankie Endicott. G'day, Frankie. I hope you're watching on. It's Gerard Stokes. I was chatting about him formerly with the Canterbury Cardinals, and to Whitehaven. A little burst of pride when I see his young fella going well for the English cricket team, Ben, who went over there. I think he's an 11-year-old with his papa.
I think he's always wanted to be a warrior when he was a kid.
Ben? Yeah, look at that. But of course he was no slouch as well as papa, because, well, he made the Kiwis, didn't he? He's a very tough hombre and a good dude. Thinking of him and many other great Canterbury names of yesteryear, including The Rock. Oh yeah, Terry Hermanson.
Hermo.
Yeah, g'day,
I
Terry.
love playing against behind Terry and Jason Lowry.
Look at this, bro. Look at this here, Richie. Starting to build. This is Sung Yum. I've really enjoyed his footy too during the course of this tournament. Encouraging our young guys trying to thread the needle, and then it's scooped up. This guy's been deadly as today. Yes, he's got real commitment and an ability to find the holes. You do need the guys who are prepared to run through brick walls and play the tough stuff, but then you need the guys with eyes up footy who are looking for opportunities to just slide through holes. And this time it's the try scorer Tane Whangupo. So still just 3 tries in this one. We were looking forward to a close and hard game of footy, and that's what we're witnessing here in game number 1 of our coverage today. It's Canterbury women, Akarana women, due for 2 p.m. kickoff. I hope you're able to join us. Been really enjoying Lavina and Jess doing their commentary too. It's great to have Wahine doing the call. Unable to occur today, but hopefully in the future it's going to be absolutely the norm. It's the way that it should be.
Well, here's the difference between the two sides at the moment. Their kicking game for Southland is winning this team over. Fifth kick options are a lot better. You just saw there with the Stingrays coming up with the last play, which didn't really get through the line, and not the halves that were kicking it.
Well, you no need to panic. Okay, we're into the last 5 minutes of the first half, but this game's a long way to go. It's about keeping your head and constantly looking to build pressure.
Particularly with the territory and the completion rate in favour of Southland. With only 6 points differential, it's must be a pretty confidence booster.
Sure.
To be brutally fair.
There's plenty to like about the attitude on display here today by these young guys.
Get there.
You can hear the coaching staff in the background talking of that pressure we're just alluding to. And this is stolen from Sang Yum. And that's a try in the corner. Well, it was effectively against the run of play, but take your hat off to the fullback's foresight, and it's Hansen who's there to profit and capitalise on his efforts.
Yeah, again, when the ball goes up, you've got to take the ball on the full. It's the old saying, but it's so true. You've got to get to the ball, and he did extremely well to come over the cross on top of the player there, and left foot step in, too easy. And that is devastating news from Southland, having so much of the ball, so much of the territory. But equally for the Stingrays, it's a real confidence booster that this could be the try that brings them back into the game.
Well, they fought hard, didn't they? You heard the coach say, apply the pressure, keep it on, and then Sang Yum, we've seen him climb high. He made a mistake when he went to play the ball after retrieving a high ball down his end of the park, but this time came up against Albert Pere, and it was a contest for the leather, no doubt about that. But then effectively became a strip from the ground, and the foresight to look up, sense the opportunity as the centre came into play, and was able to pop it up into his hands. So entertaining football right through this first 38 or so minutes, and now an important kick. It will level the scores up if this young gun from Otahuhu, and you can see proudly there's Otahuhu socks. In fact, maybe that's what they've asked the boys to do. I've seen some Mandarewa colours out there as well. So here he is, the Lefu trying to bring it round. He won't, and so it's 10-8. The scoreline on what's been a very entertaining first half in the NZRL under-20s.
Really enjoyed it, Dale. It's been fantastic. We've seen the defensive qualities, which has been just absolutely amazing. And then we've seen a side that's been very limited in terms of their completion and territory, and they've come back only 2 points deficit. But Southland have been equally impressive too, just with their sticking to the game plan that really worked. And if they continue to do that, have the patience, that will certainly work for the South Island side.
My standout in many ways has been Caleb Murphy and his kicking game. It's been right on point. And let's see how that was controlled at the back cleverly, as it turns out. Yeah, he's not a flashy player, but he's obviously a thinking footballer. And he's also, the way he held up the try, or held up the pass, just with great skill and timing to send Whangupo through for his try. And there's the ball coming loose. And now the turnaround and load up. Tupo Kofanunga gets them into zone, and they start to put some pressure on. This is Tafua. He's only 12 metres out from the line. Will they be able to cross the skipper? Sends it across through Lowry. Lowry kicks it hot to Low. Low's a stepper. Low can bounce. Low can dive. But he just is denied by 1 metre into dummy half and pushing along. They've got the numbers here. They've got the big guys as well as they come towards the posts. But this time they are denied once again. That's Jaden Horgan. Now across with numbers and almost an intercept. Perhaps it is. Away goes the Stingrays, but it's deemed to have been knocked on. Last minute of the first half, and the whole first half full of excitement.
Well, I thought that was an absolute try coming up. And they need to form that scrum quick. There's 26 seconds to go with a really good opportunity to post some more points before the half is over. 35 minutes in this game. And that's a very smart move.
Well, one of the soldiers is down, but that's okay. What an interesting...
Sualala.
Yeah. Oh, it's an interesting game. I thought once again, you know, he's been awesome, hasn't he, Jacob Lowe? That's close 3 times now. And we just are delayed somewhat here because of an injury, but the hooter goes in the background. And so in a timely fashion, we have these 2 teams. The referee will call a halt to proceedings, and we've been treated to a really interesting game of rugby league. I'm sure we've got plenty more good action. Great to have you along. This is the NZRL Under-20 swing up Punawai Stadium in the south side, right there in Autotahi. At half-time, we have a wonderful scoreline. It's the South Island by 2. They lead Counties Manukau 10-8. We'll be back with more soon.
Prepare yourself for a broadband service simply made to entertain. Sky Broadband has arrived.
Yeah, but is it fast?
Yeah, it's fiber.
It's lycra fast.
Ooh.
So it can handle all your entertainment needs.
Ooh.
Like this. That.
Time for the icing.
And this. It's so fast you'll never have to worry your little hit again. Oh, do you know what's not little?
What?
Our Wi-Fi coverage is simply huge. Yeah. It'll cover your house.
That's a pretty small house.
Well, it's a model.
Ask about the setup. Tell me about the setup.
Yeah, it's simple. You could do it yourself, or my personal fave, ask for our super setup technicians. They'll set up your broadband, connect your devices, and will look damn good doing it.
That's cool. But how much does it cost?
Yep. For Sky TV customers, our lightning fast Wi-Fi is from only $79 a month. Don't touch that. That's like paying for a chicken and getting a bald eagle.
I like it.
So what are you waiting for? If you want amazing broadband at a super snazzy price,
Snazzy.
then welcome to Sky Broadband. That's my part. I do that. Sorry. That's okay.
Oh, they're neck and neck! Contact! He's off! This race is far from over! The Breeze under attack from Evans!
Whose shoe is it? I ain't sticking my hand in there. You can grab it out of your nasty shoe.
It's up in the hospitality area again. Yes. You can't write this stuff.
Pretty amazing, Frank. How does it fall into the pocket?
Who is that?
Just hit my wife in the head.
I've not seen that, Frank, in my years covering golf. We'll just leave that.
I don't know how much longer we can hang on this shot, actually.
The oldest cup competition in world football has reached the Final Four. Feel the magic of the FA Cup.
Tielemans from long distance. Oh, one of the great Wembley goals. Yuri Tielemans.
This is for real, isn't it? This is what football is about.
The FA Cup goes to Leicester City at long last.
The semi-finals begin April 17. Sky Sports 7 BN Sports.
Here we go. ANZ Premiership Netball. Live Sky Sport.
Kia ora. Welcome back to Ngā Purawai Stadium. We've been treated to a great first half of footy in this under-20 national competition, and there were some neat tries scored, but there were also some that came so desperately close. At the break, it's the South Island. The hosts are up by 2, 10-8 over Counties Manukau. Richie Barnett in for this one, and Richie, we were treated there to some fine play. Let's have a look at how some of those tries came to be as we go firstly into the huddle of the proud Stingrays. It was only in the 4th minute, and the stage was set here with Tia on the end of some wonderful chain passing as they conveyed the ball out, block running, and in the corner, the flying winger. And we thought for a moment there, gee, they're in for some action. But it didn't take too long for a response.
Yeah, response, and they shifted the ball right side to what has been an amazing first half from Jacob Lowe. Right foot step, loves that right foot step, and he does it again, but he accelerates through, and plenty of toe to score the first of their try for a 4-6 lead in the first 5 minutes.
And then it was Whangupo. Look at the holding, how this ball is held up. I'm going. No, I'm not. And now I am. And so Tane Whangupo was able to smoke through the hole, and away he went, and that was converted. There was some to and froing, and there was some tries missed that really should have been scored. One by Lowe, one by McCullum, and then that try just a few moments before the halftime break. So there's plenty to like about what's going on here, as both teams know that they need to sustain their focus and to get themselves set, apply the pressure, and they'll come away with the all-important win. Great to have you along here. We're at Ngā Purawai Stadium in the South Island. It's a glorious day for footy. The first of our double headers here on Sky Sport. Stick around. More action from this intriguing battle is heading your way. 10-8, South Island lead the Stingrays. We'll be back soon.
Everybody go wild, let's go wild.
Champions, the Waikato Bay of plenty magic.
Oh, absolutely amazing. I know they've got it. Incredible scenes. The cowbells are ringing, the banners are banging.
It just goes to show the heart, the power and the belief that we have in each other.
For stories that creep under your skin.
You trespassed at the foster home.
And go straight to your heart.
You've done nothing for me.
For stories that fill a void.
Sorry!
You never knew existed.
There's no more hope. Just keep on going.
For stories that explore your deepest, darkest desires.
You miss me? Yes.
For stories that are funny. And surprisingly tender.
Rather like to borrow you for an evening.
For stories that are refreshingly different.
I find women intolerable.
And perfectly played.
It will end badly.
For stories you won't see anywhere else. Rialto Channel. The Storyteller.
Dream big dreams. That's what I always said, right?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy? We don't use that word in here.
What's the next step you got to take?
There's always a choice. Just never had the guts to make the right one.
Time to fly.
Are you under control? Are you?
No.
After all these years, to be going back to where it all started. Back to the Matrix.
Venus and Sabrina gonna shake up this world.
Get ready for more on Disney Plus.
We'd like it if you joined us.
More Star Wars.
This is the way.
More Nat Geo.
Wow!
More Marvel.
This is absurd.
More Star.
Did I write that?
That is John Wayne.
I'm confused.
More Disney.
You're very unpleasant.
Okay.
All this. Plus more. There's always more to explore on Disney Plus.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
Join Sky Broadband and get 12 months of Disney Plus on us. That's 12 months of this.
It's time to show them who I really am.
12 months of this.
You're a Hawkeye.
And maybe even 12 months of...
You're just as special as anyone else in this family.
That.
So what are you waiting for? Go to skybroadband.co.nz and switch to Sky Broadband now.
Kia ora no ngā mihi nui. Kia koutou katoa. We're back and ready for the action here for the second half. Richie Barnett in for this one, and hey, we're underway again. I hope the second half has got as much entertainment factor as the first. We had some good tries. We had ones that were denied. Plenty of attitude on display this afternoon down in Christchurch. And so I hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching through here on Sky Sport. It's the NZRL under-20s. And pleased to be bringing you this action from the top of the table clash, 10-8 at the halftime break. Richie B.
Yeah, absolutely, I loved every moment of this first half. Great execution in some of their set pieces. The cover defence was sensational right throughout their first half. The attitude was spot on, and now it's up to our second half. 2 points.
Sometimes you forget it's under-20s, don't you? It's just a solid game of footy with guys clashing. And, of course, a lot of our under-20-year-old guys are, built like big D7s, aren't they? And, they're sort of Joe Vangana size.
And not a lot of football, to be honest, over the years, right? So it's pivotal that this competition did arrive at the right time for players and creating pathways.
This case in point, Jaden Horgan, plenty big and strong. Caleb Murphy, my pick for that first half as we get Callum Donaldson back into the mix. But look at the thinking that's going on from the skipper, Faitawa. He's been a terrific leader as they get themselves set through the middle. This is Laverton Luto. Faitawa has it and comes to Murphy. Lines it up nicely for Whangupo. Donaldson again has it. Will he be denied yet again? He will by that impressive Lelefu Sangyum. The fullback saved plenty already. So now it's cross field as they set and try and drive through the middle. Here's the halfback who reaches out. And Micaiah Tafua has reached out, and I think he's been given that try. Well, he just got it to the line. What a great first handle with the ball from the South Island.
That was an exceptional set of six, I've got to say. That delivery, they had so much variation in their play, where they went for a long, short pass and a three-man attack, and they did it again where they forced the player to go through the gap, and this was phenomenal from Tofua to come through. Desperation, but he was always going to get over this line. Again, that stepping has caused all sorts for Canis Mario Stingrays. And again, look at that. Just absolutely superb football from Southland, and they started extremely well.
Fantastic. And Albert Pereira should add the icing on the cake here from close range. Well, here we go. Commentator's mocker, and he missed that one. Richie B. Huh? What do you mean? Oh. He should have.
I was just going to write it down.
Should have the icing on the cake. But there you go. All righty, 14-8. Gee, that was superb. I thought for a moment there that it was going to be Callum Donaldson who would get across the line. But then I thought, hang on a sec, he's been held up here. And again, it was from Sangyum. But sustained pressure resulted in the halfback. And he's pretty big for a half, to be honest, Tafua, who was able to get across the line close to the posts. Well, this happened, but to the other team in the first half, a try conceded within minutes of the bell being rung or the whistle being blown. It depended on how you look at things. Look at that audacious mid-air goosey from the fullback.
Playing a pretty smart game, I have to say. They're shifting the ball early to the edges, so they're not getting controlled in that middle third. And then they've come back with tucking under the A and B defenders so they can able to get on that front foot early. So they've played very smart, Southland.
Well, Micaiah Tafua is actually born in Oz. He's been in Oz, sorry, rather than born. And he's been at the North Devils. So he's got a bit of experience. They returned to NZ last year. He's been working with the New Zealand high performance sort of scene as well. Very versatile, can play at hooker, leads forward, and obviously with a 7 on his jersey, he can mix it up and play anywhere. As we see the Stingrays with the ball and down the left edge, trying to create an opportunity. Hats off to Archie Jacobs in the way he's got his boys rolling today. Been very sure, confident through the middle with their defensive patterns as Hollobin goes into dummy half. It's in the end a good pickup too, because it wasn't to the chest, far from it, more towards the knees. So the runner was solid as we see Penny back into the mix. And just inside the South Island half, just starting to build here as Harlem Tanamu goes to ground. And the numbers out to the right as Ko looks, finds Ford working nicely. Honetana, and then off the boot of Harwood. We possibly didn't credit enough for perhaps the best run of the game down the right-hand side. It was Proctor Harwood. This was late in the first 40. Benny Penny making his presence felt in the middle. Murphy to acting half and Hatch to play the ball. Just a settler there and some solid D. Never going to amount too much. Just burn up a little bit of the clock. Look at the hills in the background. Very picturesque park now put away. Great to be bringing you the action. The first of a double header coming. And the Women's National Premiership coming up. Kick off at 2 o'clock. Here's your try scorer, Tafua.
Tafua's been great. Lowry's been fantastic. The halves have combined nicely. But I like that show in the middle with Oliver Lowry come through and then show in the middle. Gives them a little bit more time with the ball. Takes the defenders off them. And a little bit of a mistake there.
Well, just singing his praises, weren't we, Micaiah Tafua? And as it turns out, as he gets up to play the ball, makes a little error. And Pucky Parkinson, quite rightly, has to draw attention to it. 12 gone, second half, 14-8. Close tussle, I think it's going to be all the way. Jacob Leong Waite is also in the mix. Big guy in the 21 jersey for the Stingrays. There's a nice little dummy. There's the cut through the hole. This is showing some wheels from Honetana, and he's forced to put the ball back on the inside, but it's, of course, the skipper who comes up with the ball initially. And perhaps there's an example of maybe holding on to the line. In fact, it was great defence in the end for South Island.
Yeah, I mean, he got burnt. Caleb Murphy got burnt on that left edge. And he was able to get around just on the outside. The man we're speaking about now, but he just couldn't get across quick enough. He was burnt on the right-hand side, and again, that defence, it's been consistent right throughout this whole match. Donaldson, just enough of a hand to grip the jersey, propel the player out on the side.
Well, tell me, GP Barnett, what are we looking at here?
It looks certainly a knee. Let's have a look. He's Donaldson with that extraordinary effort to come across. Never say die attitude. He's a back rower, but he's putting in all the effort to come across. That is an outstanding effort from one of their top players. You can see there. Already strapped up knee.
Yeah, Caleb Murphy, it's great for Archie Jacobs that he's okay to return to the field. Or to the fray, I should say, because he never really left the field. But even so, he looks a bit ginger on it, doesn't he?
It's an area where I think the County Stingrays should go back to keep it isolated.
Well, that's deemed to have been a lost ball rather than a stripped ball. So turnover, and they couldn't have wished for a better opportunity. The boys from Tamaki Makaurau, as they get themselves set to have a tilt at it. Here comes Holliban with the ball. So he's wrapped up, sliding to dummy half as Tekau. What's his option this time around? To Timanu. Now the big man has it. The big fender's on. Ben Penny is strong. Ben Penny perhaps too strong. Does he lose the football?
He's lost it.
He has lost
Four
the football.
occasions.
Wow, you very rarely see that across the line. And on the put down, 4 times it's gone astray.
I mean, this is just a powerhouse run. Look at that. He just and dropped it. There we go. Luckily, they had about 5 players on him. He was almost certain to get that over the line.
How good's Callum Donaldson been? He's just been, he's on fire.
He is
Richie.
on he's been in everything. His runs have been superb, but his defence has been just extraordinary. The cover defence.
I just think he's awesome. He's just come up from down south from Otago. I think he's been studying medicine down there. But his coach loves coaching him, says he's a great all-rounder. And look, he was denied a try, and you can dip your head, but he's just come back and he's ripping into his work, both on attack and defence. He saved a couple of almost certain tries. So this ball has gone forward, so they will be disappointed with that. And the Stingrays will get the feed. We have another look. This is Ben Penny. Look how strong he is. He came with big wraps for his direct running, and he's going across field. Reaches out. It's a knee.
It's the hand of 15, 14. Sualala.
Well, it actually doesn't really matter now, does it? Because, it's zip, nyip, nada.
But I just thought, when we spoke about... I forgot his name.
Good. I like the way you admit.
Yeah. So Callum Donaldson came across. Sorry, it was a blank spot.
That's cool.
And he's come across. He's got fended off, and then he's chimed back in, and he was the player that was in the tackle. It's fantastic. That's the effort you want. Effort on effort.
And don't be afraid to have blank spots. No, why should we?
Quite often for me. Don't worry about that.
It's fine. What was your name? Richie's been doing some wonderful work with Mike King too over the last little while. G'day, Mike.
He's a good man.
He's a good man too. Oh, that's it looked awkward. Under 20s action. NZRL. Load up time. Just 6 points in it. Cantabrians out enjoying the autumn day and autumn sun. It's daylight saving now. An extra hour of sleep, I think I did. I often get confused whether to put it forward or backwards. And I'd rather just say, keep your eye on the prize rather than the clock. And that's a nice little run here again from Oliver Lowry. So, dummy half, it's Tafua. He pops the pass in, and then the step, then the straight in. And that's good enough. The job is done for Kofonunga. Kofonunga is in for number... No, I thought for 2. It's not. It's his first. I was confused with Whangupo. But that was smart play, and Kofonunga looking good.
So coming off a really good defensive effort down the back end to come up with Kofonua, whose right side has been a gem for him. He normally plays on the right edge as a back rower. He's coming into the front row, but look at this footwork here. He's a big man. That's a great step on the inside of a player and just has the determination to go through. Big body, great speed, good footwork, great delivery of try.
Go boys from him, the Cargill. Go get him. And of course, he played for the Rams Premier team, a tough back rower from Southland. And so Tupou Kofonunga establishing great relationships with these guys, even though they're from down country. It's different to the Canterbury team. Let's see if this is a 2-pointer, and still another missed kick. Let's hope that doesn't come to bite them on the you-know-what later in the game. 18-8 the scoreline here, but the South Island have just been getting themselves into good field position, and they've got the power runners like Kofonunga, who, as you say, is a big man, but also possesses a very fine step.
Yep, absolutely, and they're working to their strengths really well. The game plan's working effectively. And then you look at what you rightly said is 2 conversions that really are out in front that they've missed. So that that could be the difference. But in saying that, I just love the way they're playing at the moment. And as I speak of it, we've just got to stop saying things.
Like the commentators mock it, gets you every time, doesn't it?
There's 3 occasions.
Yeah, how great they're playing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry for that.
That's all right. Then we get another look at it. I don't know that this fellow wants to look at it again, but anyway, that's what happens. Oh, sorry, bros. You'll be saying, I'm sorry, guys. Hey, this is football and it's real. And it's under 20s. We just love the potential these guys carry. As we say, not all these guys are going on to win NRL or international footy, but they're working with their teammates, recognising what role sport plays in community. Like we say, what we hope for is that they become good dads, good blokes. Here he comes, Ben Penny. We know he's a good powerhouse runner. He's running on an angle. I'd like to see him straighten as well, perhaps step off that right foot, Ben, because that cover defence would struggle at him because he's just bulky. And there you go, another error when they were so close to success.
And a pivotal time too. Madison Teku has come up with a massive mistake right on the line. Pivotal time in the match again. An error around the ruck again. It's just disappointing. It's frustrating.
Well, I guess it's probably the first thing you learn as a kid is how to play the ball. And even as grown men, mind you, it happens in the NRL and international footy, mistakes when you get up to play the ball, just a little bit eager. But that was certainly a chance, great field position. You almost sensed that the Stingrays were going to capitalise Richie Barnett, but not so. And now an opportunity to steady the ship. This is where you don't need to be too flash. You don't need to score off this set. Although I must say, impressed with the
But you're exactly right. I think patience, definitely patience for Southland to come into play here. Just work to the set and get to the kick. I mean, it's as simple as that, particularly now that they're 10 points ahead. There's no reason to have any risk in your game.
Lovely little hold shot here, and Whangupo has been excellent today. That's him inside the 30. His skipper comes in. He'll muster his troops here, and they've got numbers as Tafua works it across the ball. Sadly, it's gone to ground, and then it's knocked on out wide. So problems compounded. It's 2 mistakes in quick succession. But Whangupo certainly knows the way to the line. And once he breaks through the gap, he's a great sight to behold on the run.
And they've come up with some pearlers of some plays on the edges, running great lines, quite good, some variation in their play, cutting across the grain, outside in, short, long passes. So it's really coming, they've really executed it well today.
They've got tries in them here, these guys are the Stingrays. There's no doubt about that. So it certainly won't be writing them off as Taylor Papali'i gets to his feet. And it can turn on a dime, this game. We saw it last time too with the bust downfield and try soon after. So don't be at all surprised if the Stingrays turn something smart on here as Haneli Loani takes them in, and a penalty. I think it might even be for a swinging arm. The game's been played in good spirit, actually. So it's the first issue of something untoward like that.
Absolutely. It's been very tidy, and congratulations on the players for playing in that manner. It's really up to Tariki Ford now to take some control of the match.
So here's Teku and his Penny. Love the way he runs. Great approach. Brutal.
Just
afraid of no one.
Just that little effort on the ground to get him on the ground, isn't it? Makes a big difference.
And this time even super close. So Penny is in there. Don't write them off at any stage, the Stingrays, because that's when they'll be there to sting you. And I think that this might have been just denied by a metre. South Island desperate on D. Here's the big Harbour Bridge effort over the top. Will it create the opportunity? It won't. It's been touched and regained. Play on. Full set at their disposal now. And the skipper comes in. He's crunched by Tafua. What a tackle. Crikey, if this doesn't fire up the squad, I don't know what will. Lotto has the ball now. And the referee says, come on, boys, back it up. Gee. The skipper, Hollabon, came with the ball and came flying out of nowhere, Tafua.
Well, the game's going to be won on that defensive effort because it's just building confidence within that side immensely. It's relentless.
Well, something's going to give here, Richie. And will it be the Stingrays? I've got a gut feeling that they're just building on something here. They'll set the stage and the platform. They've got plenty of talent to get across the line, but they have been denied on numerous occasions. Will they keep Ben Penny at bay again? Yes, they will. They drive him into the Ngapunawai turf, but they've got the numbers out to the right. Tariki Ford now with a cutout ball, and beautiful D by Carden Hatch who comes into play. And he wraps up Harwood, who gets up, and he's injured himself in the effort. They'll try to come around, and the referee will keep an eye on him, but they won't be able to deny him this time. It's held up. Oh, Richie!
Hatch has come up with it. He's done it again. Look at this. This was an automatic try. The size of some of these guys and the ability to get through, and you think they're going to score? No.
Wow, that's five, at least five, over the line and denied. So, look, if you haven't been enjoying the tries, we've certainly been enjoying the no tries.
Albert Penny coming across. Then you got a player like Hatch underneath. Oh, superb effort.
Well, look, can they maintain this defensive focus? That's the thing. They've got some numbers out there. Surely something's going to break soon for the South Island. Can they do it again and again? That's what we've been witnessing. This is Samuel Hansen. Let's try something different. How about a kick into the in goal, which doesn't work, and now it's a flying Albert Pettier. He gets hold of the ball, and the South Island, well, dodge bullets. They've dodged machine gun fire.
They certainly have, and again, I like their approach there, the kick through. He grabs the ball, he offloads it through a tackle, under pressure, and then they look to go wide really quick. So they're playing. Look at that. Again, they're going through.
And this is Hatch weaving his magic on his own. Flying solo. Oh, great carry from Kieran Hatch. And now the South Island have a chance to put the pressure on here. Down the right-hand side, wanting to make up for a few little faux pas in recent times. Oliver Lowry. The runners are getting themselves set. There's Faitawa. He'll come across. In fact, they'll try and thread the needle. The runner is there. Can he take the ball? Almost a try out of nothing as Uriah Tully reached back but couldn't quite hold on to the football. But look at this scorching run from Kieran Hatch.
Great to watch, isn't it? And he's come up with a magic play, to a defensive effort in the other end, and he's come up with an amazing run. And again, the kicking game has probably been the difference on both sides too, building pressure and giving pressure to the back three right throughout this whole match.
So Tully, if he had been able to take the ball, I had a gut feeling he might have been a little in front of the kicker, but it didn't matter in the end because he fumbled the pill, and now it's the South Island. So it's to and fro, good play and great defence. There's a lot to like what's on show, and if this is indicative of what some of our regional footy's going to be in years to come, there's a lot to be excited about. And now the South Island will get another chance to mount another challenge from close range.
Again, TT, he's come up with a simple error again, but I think it's on the back end too of Southland. The way they're playing their defence and then they're transitioning into defence, into attack, and they're not playing one-out football. They're moving the ball, they're shifting it, they're being creative in the style of play.
I love the desperation they're showing when their line is being threatened, because there's some big units coming at them strongly, and that ball back on the inside. Now remember the 19, he's been such an influence throughout the course of the game. That's Ethan Faitawa. He is a superb footballer, and that's him with the football now. He's going to be wrapped up. And, and banged to the ground by Ben Penny, but he's right in front of the post. So, again, laying a foundation for the hit-up men to take advantage of. That's big Lawrence ULSC. And Lawrence is able to play the ball right in front of the post. There's a cutout ball, and that's going to look good. And the dive in on the far side. Well, I'm thinking it's low, but it doesn't look to be. We'll get another look. I think it must be Caleb Murphy or Shaki. Let's just have a look at his number there. I didn't quite pick that one up, Richie, but gee, it was a nice finish down the right edge.
Yeah, again, Lowry's come up with an absolute perler of a pass. And you see how Samuel Hansen. Oh, sorry, we've got Siaki, but that ball there was just right in front of the player to come through. And again, they're capitalising on all the mistakes. They are identifying, playing through the middle, and then reaping the rewards on the edges. They've really converted extremely well. They've honoured their whole week of training. They've implemented exactly what the coach wanted. And Archie Jacobs will be very happy with what he's seen today.
So Siaki in to score. Gee, it could have been so different. But for the defensive effort on the line of these young guys from the South Island, they're really playing out of their skins for each other. And ain't that what this is all about?
I mean, exactly right. The defensive qualities, the building belief in the side, attitude, and then execution on the edge of it. And it's been superb performance. And clearly, when you look at Sean Uitanga saying with his county's side, he's probably disappointed with it, but you've also got your credit to the players from Southland who have orchestrated some pressure on a side that really has played extremely well over the years. But this is a superb performance by Southland.
Yeah. Good scalp. He might get this one. He's missed some close ones, and he does, in fact, get it from the corner. Oh, gee, Richie, don't you love this game?
From the sideline, of course he's going to get it.
24-8. Now, there's an is in there that we must acknowledge as well. Only because Southland's a region of its own right. Hey, where is Southland? Hey, that's in Invercargill, isn't it? And then Dunedin's.
Look at that kick.
Otago.
Beautiful.
Well, he's had some shockers so far today, if it's the same fella.
He's had some.
Yep. But anyway, credit where it's due. Yeah. Is there some coming back here from your read?
I would like to see Counties Manukau Stingrays come back.
But we're into the final 10
final
now,
10, it's a way you finish, right?
Well, and, it's going to be how the cards fall here. And at the moment, under the old saying, they've been unable to turn a trick for some time because the South Island has just been so good. That's good D. That's your try scorer. Vayanasaki was down that right edge, but the foresight to have the pass, call it the rainbow ball or Harbour Bridge pass, but that's the big one over the top, can be real useful on occasion, can't it, Rich?
It always wins, particularly when you got the outside backs coming in. General direction is coming in, so that long pass is always a joy to see. And Tooley just absolutely, the run on the left-hand edge is just a strapping back row that it's got plenty of options around him.
This is Honetana, and he gets the ball on the far side. In fact, it was a most beautiful take, to be honest. The South Island, full of confidence. They should be really proud of their work here this afternoon. This is a really fine Counties Manukau side. The South Island have had their measure. They went into the half-time break with just a 2-point advantage, but they've scored 3 unanswered tries here in the second 32 minutes of the second half, I should say. So it's been a very impressive performance here for Archie Jacobs and his Chargers. Bounce important here, and it is picked up by Counties Manukau, and then it is flicked in. Paki Parkinson says, I'm okay for it to go again. Then there's a pickup, and that could be towards the try line. Is that a try being acknowledged here? And I think it is. Congratulations to them. Well, hey, they said, well, we're never ever going to give up. And down the left edge, and it came somewhat out of nowhere. Let's have another look at how it came to be. That's the 16.
Ricocheted off, and it's gone. In fact, I thought he was offside, but it's hit the player in front, opposing player.
So it was Papali'i with the kick, and it was Hansen with the try. And their never say die attitude is noted here. Proud province. And they'll fight to the death. But of course, the full-time siren not too far away. Don't forget, friends, coming up after this game at 2 o'clock kick-off, it's Canterbury against Akarana. That too should be a solid game. Akarana, a pretty decent team in our women's national championship. Canterbury no slouches either. They've got some fine talent. The conversion is unsuccessful, but still showing that they'll be in the mix. Counties Manukau. This is the top of the table clash, so an important result. We see the Canterbury squad just getting themselves ready. The amazing captain. We're looking forward to calling that game for you on the button of 2 p.m. this afternoon here on Sky Sport.
11 premierships backed in a row. So Counties Manukau are certainly the leaders there, and it's been a joy watching them over the years. In the final in 2021. So a lot of work here to be done for the Stingrays.
6 minutes and 12 points. Well, that's not going to help their cause.
The old saying of standing on the back of the back line. It's been back.
They'll be pretty satisfied, no doubt.
Huge kick.
Good to see the Cantabrians out and about, supporting local footy. Let's have another look. El Perfecto. El Perfecto Mondo there, Richie B.
And they get their ball back.
Played in good spirit, with some great athleticism on show. What's impressed me most today is the desperation in defence, and that bloke Donaldson has been superb. Ben Penny has been constantly.
He's been superb. You know, his runs have been unbelievable. He's created a good foundation. It's a pity they couldn't capitalise on the back end of it.
While he was perhaps more dominant in that first half, Caleb Murphy, the centre, and effectively doing a lot of the kicking. He was injured a few minutes into the second half, so has had less influence, but still must be given credit for the way that he's played today. Well, I guess there were some lessons here for Counties Manukau. They're used to being a dominant force on the footy field, and I'm sure that it will result in heightened respect for the attitude on display from the proud rugby league fraternity of the South Island. And so anytime you go down to Canterbury, you know that you're in for a battle.
Absolutely, Dale. They are very proud. There's no question about that. And today was certainly highlighted how proud they really are.
Let's holler a bit into the defensive work, but it seems a little too late. Although we are 4 minutes out, strange things can happen in rugby league. We've seen back-to-back tries, but this time around it's the South Island. It gives us an opportunity to reflect on some of the players. Let's go first to the visitors, the Stingrays, because it wasn't all bad. And when we're talking about the rising careers of guys who'll be influential in our regional clashes in the years to come, and not necessarily NRL and not necessarily international, Richie, some of the players that have stood out for you.
Yeah, definitely Ben Penny. He's been absolutely superb. We haven't seen a lot because of the mistake rate that we normally would see, but you would normally have the likes of Madison Teku who normally come into play around that ruck area. Sualala's had some really good defensive and great runs on the edges. And their backs, I guess, with TTs had come up with a couple of good runs too. So, but in actual fact, it's been South Island that really have dictated terms and have taken the sting out of the side.
I've been so impressed with Faitawa. This man has put together some good patches of play too. This is the left with Sung Yum, a talented fullback. In fact, that was the number 7, but the fullback for me has had some really good touches as well. But looking at the South Island squad, well, you can't go much beyond their skipper Faitawa. He's had a hand pretty much in everything. Makai Tafua, I should say, he too has been really strong. And hats off as well to Whangupo and Kofononga, both try scorers and both worthy of being singled out in a team that actually has combined really well here this afternoon. They led by 2 at the halftime break, and they've gone on with it in the second half, showing that they are a team to be reckoned with.
And I just like that play again, and they've come up with this right throughout the whole match. They've had a set piece with so many options around it, and it stresses the defence out in terms of them coming up, who are they going to select, and they've come up with all the right options, putting them under pressure, coming with a variety of plays, which makes them think a lot in terms of defence.
So as we head towards the wrap-up here, we can run through the scorers. We'll get a chance to have a chat with the captains post-game briefly. But this guy has been impressive, hasn't he? That's 21. Callum, I really liked what we're seeing from him today. Callum Donaldson, of course, in the system since a 14-year-old. And like I say, he's come through the South Island development scene. Seems to be a player that can be relied on. He made a mistake early on, and sometimes you can dip your head as a young player, but far from it. He fought back to reinstate his mana, and we were impressed by his defensive attitude and willingness to get involved in all aspects of the game. He's certainly a player to watch out for in the future, and not too far away from the Hooter. So it was 10-8, 2 tries apiece in the first half. But then the 3 tries after the resumption of play set them out to 24-8. And while there was that try a few moments ago for Hansen, they've pretty much been in control of this clash. This guy, Kieran Hatch, had a couple of good runs, and well, this is another example. So counting it down to the full-time break, I think this will be a very satisfying victory, not just to the players, that perhaps looks a little worse than it was, a little bit of pushing and shoving, some frustration building. Let's hope that things don't get untoward. That would be disappointing and certainly unnecessary. There's a little bit of struggling on the ground. I think that the best way is to embrace, say thanks for a good game of footy and a great result for Archie Jacobs' boys from the South Island. Gutsy effort. Counties Manukau came down with a big reputation. They weren't able to go on with it. And the South Island win this one at Punawai Stadium here in Christchurch, 24-12. Well, Richie Barnett, look at these guys. They deserve to be elated at their performance today. And there's some lovely sportsmanship on display, as we have come to expect. They'll be really pleased with their efforts today, the boys from the South Island.
Yeah, absolutely. I've enjoyed every moment, and the way they played defensively was stoic, but in their attack, they've had, like I said before, so much variation. They executed it really well. They are very much in confidence mode right there. Very excited about their victory.
Well, we are going to take a little break, and then we're going to come back with our winning captains and our losing captains as well. And you're watching the action here of a wonderful, and perhaps in some ways historic victory. It's the South Island winning 24-12 over Counties Manukau, and we'll be back for more and some post-match interviews in just a moment. You're watching Sky Sport.
Fucking right.